Jury deliberations are set to resume today in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial. And Apple finally takes a big step into the world of AI. What you need to know about Apple Intelligence. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Tuesday, June 11th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. Jury deliberations will resume this morning in the federal gun trial of Hunter Biden. Deliberations started on Monday after both the prosecution and defense rested their cases. Jurors only deliberating for less than an hour before being sent home for the day. The jurors will decide whether Hunter Biden is guilty of 3 felony charges linked to purchasing a gun in 2018 when he was reportedly addicted to drugs. In closing arguments, the prosecution urged jurors to, quote, use common sense to find the president's son guilty, prosecutors adding no one is above the law. While the defense says the prosecution failed to prove Hunter Biden was using illegal drugs when he bought the gun, claiming there were gaping holes in the case. Hunter Biden has pleaded not guilty to all charges. If convicted, he faces up to 25 years in prison. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel to continue to urge top Israeli officials to accept and implement a plan for post-war Gaza, meeting with Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid in Tel Aviv today. This comes as Blinken also pushes for more international pressure on Hamas to agree to a ceasefire proposal just endorsed by the United Nations Security Council. On Monday, 14 of the UN's 15 Security Council members voted in favor of endorsing the ceasefire plan to end the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas that was announced by President Biden last month. The U.S. saying Israel has already accepted the ceasefire proposal. Only Russia abstained from voting. The resolution calls on Hamas to agree to the 3-phase plan, which would see an initial 6-week ceasefire and the exchange of some Israeli hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza for Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails. The second phase would include a permanent ceasefire and the release of the remaining hostages. The third phase would involve a reconstruction effort for the devastated Gaza Strip. Hamas was quick to welcome the resolution, saying in a statement it's ready to cooperate with mediators and enter indirect negotiations over the implementation of the principles of the agreement. After being closed for more than 2 months, the Port of Baltimore's shipping channel is fully operational again. In late March, a massive 213 million-pound cargo ship crashed into a support column of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, killing 6 construction workers and causing the structure to collapse, cutting off access to the crucial shipping artery. To fully reopen the 700-foot wide channel, crews had to remove roughly 50,000 tons of wreckage from the Patapsco River, according to the Army Corps of Engineers. The work to rebuild the nearly 50-year-old bridge continues. Shortly after the collapse, President Biden pledged the federal government would help pay for it. A panel of Food and Drug Administration advisors is unanimously backing an Alzheimer's drug from Eli Lilly that's been shown to slow the disease's progression. The drug works by helping the body remove amyloid plaque buildups in the brain, which are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. These plaques are harmful deposits that can form in the brain as people age. Removing the plaque seems to slow down the brain changes that seem to happen with Alzheimer's. The FDA will make a final decision on approval later this year. If approved, Eli Lilly's drug would become the second Alzheimer's medication of its kind currently on the U.S. market, expanding treatment options for the more than 6 million Americans who have Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is the 5th leading cause of death for adults over 65 years old. On Monday, Apple held its annual Worldwide Developers Conference, where it announced new upgrades to its devices and operating systems. But what's getting the most attention is Apple Intelligence, the tech company's new strategy for incorporating AI into its business model. Apple CEO's Tim Cook making the long-awaited announcement.
Recent developments in generative intelligence and large language models offer powerful capabilities that provide the opportunity to take the experience of using Apple products to new heights. So as we look to build in these incredible new capabilities, we want to ensure that the outcome reflects the principles at the core of our products.
Among its capabilities, Apple Intelligence will see an update to the voice assistant Siri, with Apple saying Siri will now better understand your questions, and you will also be able to type to Siri like other chatbots. And if Siri doesn't know the answer, it will ask if it can take your question to ChatGPT, with Apple announcing a partnership with OpenAI. New writing tools will see Apple Intelligence proofread, rewrite, and summarize text across various apps, and also suggest the right tone for the message. And you will be able to create your own custom emojis just by describing what you are looking for. Apple is calling these Genmojis. Apple Intelligence is set to launch in the fall. Finally this morning, when you think of Hollywood production studios, you might think of Warner Brothers, Paramount Pictures, and Disney. But a new name is now joining the list: Starbucks. The coffee chain announcing Starbucks Studios, which it says will produce original entertainment that deepen connections and spark conversations. Starbucks is partnering with Oscar-winning producer Michael Sugar and his media company Sugar 23. Starbucks is the latest company to open its own production studio, following brands like Nike and MailChimp. These are your top stories for this Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.